Today, I am embarking on a very exciting new book journey. For the first time, me and Allison, my reading buddy who you've heard me talk about before, are embarking on the same book at the same time. This is unprecedented. We've often read the same books, but not at the same time. So I'm looking forward to reading this book and talking to her about it while I do. Which book did we choose? Well, Allison has a system that I really admire because I don't have this system, but she reads books in the order that she purchases them. So next on her list is Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor, and when she mentioned that to me, since that book is also on my TBR, I was like, I'm gonna read it too. So I've taken that book out from the library. What do I know about Akata Witch? Well, nothing. All I know is that it's written by Nnedi Okorafor, who is the author of the Binti trilogy, which I read last year and absolutely loved. I found it so brilliantly imaginative and engrossing, and I read those 3 novellas really, really quickly. So I'm looking forward to trying another book from Nnedi Okorafor and broadening my horizons in terms of her backlist. So here we go. Akata Witch. So my first thoughts regarding Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor were, oh no, because I was so afraid that I was not going to like it, which would be upsetting on a number of levels, not only because I absolutely loved Nnedi Okorafor's Binti trilogy, but because I'm reading this with Allison, and I don't want us to be like, this is the worst book ever. I want us to read books that we're like, yes, this is the best, we love it. So, but the thing is, I have a problem with first person and third person in the same story. I got a real big problem with that. And in the prologue, I don't like prologues either, I should mention that. But in the prologue, it was written in first person, and I was actually really engaged. And I got used to Sunny's voice being in first person and connecting with her as a character. And then for some unknown reason, ever since then, it has been in third person. And I don't know why, and it upsets me. But I've gotten through that part, to the part that is getting really interesting in terms of the magical ability type thing. The idea of leopard people has been introduced. Leopard people being people who can use magic, not necessarily people who turn into leopards. Sunny has some sort of an affinity with candle flames, and in the prologue of the book, looked very deeply into a candle flame, caught her hair on fire, but also saw the end of the world happening. And since then, she's kind of tried not to think about it and written it off. But she meets 2 other people who also have some form of magical abilities. I don't really know where the story's going at the moment, but I am moderately interested in continuing and in tricking myself into thinking that first person prologue never happened. So fortunately, Allison and I do have similar tastes. Not only was I having trepidations about Akata Witch, but so was she. So we have decided to put it down. Part of the reason is because it was billed as young adult and it reads more as a middle grade. And middle grade is not her thing, and middle grade is something that I have to really be in the mood for. So I may go back and revisit it another time when I'm in the mood for a middle grade, but that is definitely not at the moment. However, we are moving on to another read because the next book on her list happens to be one that is on my giant 2020 TBR. So I picked it up and brought it downstairs, and yes, I'm reading it by hand. And that is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula Guin. This is another one that I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to continue reading. It started out so strong, and I was immediately absorbed into the narrative. And I mean, later on when it started getting into the long-winded political things, I was like, eh. But there have been two major microaggressions in this book that just turned me right off. And I don't understand how Ursula K. Le Guin can be lauded as a feminist writer if she adds these microaggressions in. So far, all of the characters that are shown are male, and any sort of action that is perceived as being underhanded is described as effeminate or feminine or womanly. And nope, I'm not here for that. But I'm still waiting to hear what Allison thinks about it. Maybe she's gotten a little bit farther than me and it gets better, maybe? So Allison is a little bit more forgiving than I am, I think. And yet she rants so much more than I do when it comes to books. It's great. I should have her on this vlog at some point. She got a couple hours more into The Left Hand of Darkness than I did, and she decided, after we spoke, we decided that we're going to put that down. So unfortunately, her next book is not one that I have on my TBR, so we are going to wait until that intersects again before we try another buddy read. But I'm hoping that it happens sometime soon, because it's just really fun to talk about books with Allison, you know? So this is a pretty downer of a video again. I feel like my high pain this year is contributing to me putting down so many books. It's getting kind of negative, and I'd rather it be more positive around here. So if you'd rather I skip all of this do not finish and only tell you about the books I do finish, let me know in the comments. Until next time, happy reading.